On Monday, the 31st of July 1939, New Zealand tourist Leon Levy left the boarding house he was staying at to hike to the ruined castle. After Leon Levy didn't make it back to the boarding house later that day, the boarding house owner rang the police and raised the alarm. The search party consisted of 10 policemen and 2 police dogs, Disraeli the Bloodhound and Zoe the Alsatian, plus members of the Katoomba Bush Rescue Club. The search was conducted during heavy rain, which hampered the dog's ability to pick up Levy's scent. No trace of Levy was found, other than some fruit peels on the ground near the ruined castle. Found or was lost? I'm afraid it's all been such a terrible experience that I can't remember too much, said Levy. I think I reached the castle, and from there I followed a track which led down a gully. Eventually their trail became extinct, and I discovered I was lost. I wandered on and on. It all seemed like an awful dream. The bush was very dense, and a lot of the time I had to crawl along on all fours. Weak and hungry, I lit a fire with some brushwood, hoping someone would notice it, but apparently they didn't. During the night, it commenced to rain, so I didn't get much sleep. At daybreak, I started to walk on again. I was feeling rather weak and hungry, but pushed on in the hope that I might strike a trail of some sort. The only tracks I found were those of wild animals, which nearly always led down to the Jamison Creek. Night in rain. I spent all Wednesday night standing in the pouring rain, with my coat over my head. I was chilled through. I was wet to the skin. In fact, I was wet from Tuesday night. Thursday morning came with the same monotony as the other days. I was very hungry and could have eaten a horse raw. On Thursday night, I was quite prepared to write finish. I seemed to be in a hopeless position. I fell asleep, eventually absolutely exhausted. I had lost my glasses, and without them I could see very little. I woke up very early this morning, long before dawn. Then, to my amazement, I saw a fence. I knew that I must be somewhere near civilization at last. I followed it and eventually arrived at a farmhouse. I aroused the occupants, and they gave me some warm stimulant and some food. Leon Levy tried to hike out, but he was too weak to do so. So Mr. Maxwell used his horse to take Levy to safety, but he only dropped him off at a bus stop at Wentworth Falls. Levy caught the bus, and only after telling the bus driver that he had no money to pay the fare and he had spent the last 4 days lost in the bush, the driver then phoned for an ambulance. An ambulance came and picked up Levy and drove him to Katoomba Hospital, where he stayed for a few days until he got better. It was an extraordinary effort to hike through the dense bush in the Jamison Valley with no food or water. Leon Levy made his way through the Jamison Valley all the way to the Maxwell's farm in the Katoomba Valley, and he was a very lucky man indeed.